My name is Professor Adam, and I'm going to teach you how to become a professional cryptocurrency investor. I've been active in finance for almost 9 years, and I've made millions of dollars without the need for one. I'm going to teach you everything that I have learned throughout my years of finance, all of the study, the research, the pain and suffering, so you too can learn from my experience and become elite. So what is cryptocurrency investing? It's buying digital assets and then getting paid massive amounts of money at a later date when you sell them because they have multiplied in value. You'll be taught multiple methods for how to do this, leveraging my years of deep research and world-class systems. When people invest by themselves with no mentorship, they usually get scammed quickly or lose all of their money because the market moves are too fast or confusing. But with my systematic investing, you develop high-quality criteria that tells you clearly what to do to make profit over the long run with far less risk. Most fake trading salesmen online seduce you with flashy Instagrams, and they teach the same ineffective shit between different accounts. This university and this campus specifically is different because I am an effective professional and I will guide you every step of the way. After going through the basics, my masterclass will teach you up to 5 uniquely profitable methods invented by me that will make you elite. So how much do you need to get started? Well, it's up to you. The more you have to start with, the more it's going to become once you multiply. If you look at the amount that you want to invest and you say to yourself, this is a huge amount of money, this is a good amount, and if I was to multiply it, it would meaningfully change my life, then cryptocurrency investing is for you. So if you're ready for the 100, 1,000, 10,000% gains, then get ready to go through the hundreds of lessons that we have in the campus to make you elite, and I'll be here to guide you every step of the way. Hello my friends, welcome to the Crypto Navigational tutorial. Here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you where everything is, because I know it's very overwhelming when you first get into here, but that's okay, I'm here to guide you. So let's have a look at what you have available to you in the Cryptocurrency Investing Learning Center. So when we arrive, we see start here, and as you can imagine, you're in the navigational video right now. None of these will be unlocked for you yet because you'll still be watching the tutorial. That's okay, not a problem. If you're starting out, what I want you to do is go to the game. The game is a fun introduction into the world of professional investing. If you've never touched cryptocurrency before, or if you're an absolute beginner and you're very nervous, then go to the game. The game is a risk-free, completely risk-free way of introducing yourself into the concepts of cryptocurrency using rich military metaphors to describe kind of what we're doing in the market. This is a great way of also getting more familiarity with my approach that you will be learning in the Crypto Investing Masterclass. So if you have a little bit more experience, what I want you to do is go from the navigational video into the Crypto Investing Masterclass. If you have a little bit of familiarity with the crypto market already, this will be a great way of taking you from very, very beginner all the way to extremely, extremely advanced. This Cryptocurrency Investing Masterclass is the most advanced set of investing lessons. You can find nothing like this anywhere else on the internet because all of this material was invented by me and I had to learn it the brutally hard way by myself. Nothing in here is copied or pasted from anyone else anywhere on the internet. This is real, raw skill. I'm very proud of what I have created in here for you, and you should all be very excited to learn from me. This stuff in here will take you to absolute elite status. I am serious. I'm deadly serious about that. So if you want the best possible chance of success, what you want to do is get through the entire crypto investing masterclass and pass the exam at the end. Yes, there is an exam, but don't be afraid. It's there to make sure that you're an effective professional, just like me, and I will get you there. Now, next we have the crypto investing signals. This is if you want to follow along with the portfolios that I'm deploying or simplified versions of them until you get your own confidence up. Beware, the signals will not be unlocked until you've completed some of the lessons in the Crypto Investing Masterclass. This is because if you were to follow the signals without knowing a bit about our approach, then it would be way too dangerous for you. So what you have to do is you have to go through the Crypto Investing Masterclass and pass at least a few lessons before you have to go and unlock the crypto investing signals. But that's okay, they'll be unlocked in time after you've done enough lessons. Now the Armory is a great resource. We have tons of stuff in there. We have frequently asked questions, we have the daily lessons archive, we have rants from me about lifestyle, about cryptocurrency, we have a podcast in there from me if you want to learn more about who I am as an individual. There's lots of stuff in there, and if you have the time, I highly recommend you get in there and check it out. Now, the help section is basically a summarized navigational section. If you ever get lost, the help section will remind you where to go, but it's fairly simple in this campus. If you ever need to know what the most effective path is, then it's through the Crypto Investing Masterclass. The Crypto Investing Masterclass is very long, but it's one straight path, and as long as you are dedicated to being the best, there is nothing standing in your way except yourself, and I believe in you. I believe you will get through all those lessons. So, what you'll find is that after you finish this, and after you finish the navigational video, you will have these unlocked, because these won't be unlocked for you yet, but they will be very soon. If you go into the Crypto Investing Masterclass and get through the first few tutorials in the Crypto Investing Masterclass, then you unlock all of the channels within the university. So let's have a look at them, shall we? If you exit out of the courses section, which of course you can re-access anytime through the courses button on the top left-hand side, you'll have access to all the different channels. So let's move down through them from start to finish. Now, we have the Start Here channel. Don't forget to scroll up. We have an introduction to the campus, a teasers for the signals, and of course, we have the campus map, one of the most important pieces of information in this entire campus. You can see here the absolute beginner path to crypto mastery. It starts with the investing game, and then it moves into the investing masterclass, which is comprised of multiple levels, some of which you've already caught a glimpse of. So that's the tutorials, the beginner's toolbox, the fundamental lessons, and the investing lessons. Take note, the crypto investing signals are not unlocked until you've finished the investing lessons. This is to make sure that you at least have a foundation of knowledge that you can use before accessing the signals. Otherwise, it will be too dangerous. Then we have the big daddy of them all, the Crypto Investing Masterclass, where you can also pass the exam and get access to the post-graduation strategy construction section. If you pass all of this stuff, you will not only have Lambo levels of elite cryptocurrency investing skill, you will also have access to the ultra high gain signals, which is the fully doxed open portfolio that I am running in my personal account. You will have access to all of my different positions, no matter how risky, no matter how insane they are. You will see everything that I do, and it is all open in there. That is reserved for the most advanced students because it's incredibly advanced and very dangerous stuff in there. So get through all of those lessons, and this is the path that you want to be taking. Now, let's continue. You have the cryptocurrency announcements channel. This is where I announce all the live streams and anything relevant to the students. You have the crypto wins channel, and you can get in here and look at all the positivity. There's a lot of good energy. There's people making money. There's people passing lessons. A fantastic place to check out the progress that these students are making. We also have the poll section where you can vote on matters relating to the campus, the crypto investing campus. You have the basic information section, which has all this basic information. It's a couple of frequently asked questions in there. It's not exhaustive by any means. You need to go into the courses and look into the other lessons to get more information. We have the beginner's help channel. This is open from the very beginning, from the very first moment you join the campus. If you have any very, very basic questions, you can get them answered in here. We have Ask a Captain, which is reserved for slightly more complex questions that only the captains may have information and can answer for you. And then we have Ask Professor Adam, which is reserved for the people that have done some of the fundamental lessons. That's right, you won't have immediate access to me, but that's okay. You'll have access to the captains from the very first moment, and once you pass the fundamental lessons, you'll be able to post questions in here. Reminder, there is a 1-day cooldown to prevent people from spamming me, so make sure the question is good. Now, we have one of the most important channels in the whole campus. This is the Daily Investing Analysis channel. This channel is where I put all of my analysis, every thought that I have on the market, all of the information and research that I do, everything that's critical to understanding what is going on in the market is posted here. I will tell you if you should feel excited. I will tell you if you should feel sad. I will tell you what my perceptions on the market is and whether or not you should maybe relax and not do anything or be very active. Everything is contained in here. So check back daily. Every single day, you are required to check in here and see what the update of the market is. Otherwise, you won't know what's going on and you won't make money. So we have next the Adams Journal, which is a fun place for me to put my thoughts. We have Adams AMAs, which is a place to keep all the different live streams, some of the AMAs and some of the old chats as well. I'm starting to phase this one out, so I may not have that one in the future. Student Lessons channel, where students can actually share their insights into the lessons. Can be very useful. Economic Season, which is my long-term views on the market. In this Signals and Season channel, it will fill up with different signal channels as you unlock them. Of course, we have an unlock section here, never forget that you cannot unlock the signals until you've done the investing lessons. We have the general chat channel, which is where all the students pile in here and they all talk to each other about cryptocurrency. Everybody jumps in here at the one time. It can be very exciting. We have the investing chat. Notice that you can't post immediately. You need to pass some more lessons before you get access to the investing chat channel. But you can at least read what the other more advanced students are posting. But of course, there are many, many more channels in this. We have the game questions channel. If you are doing the game, this is a great place to post your questions about it so you can understand more about what you're doing. Now, that's all that you can see on the left-hand side, but I need to remind you, this list is very long. It goes down probably another 50 or 60 channels that are unlocked over time. We have so much extra information in this campus. You would blow your mind to see so much advanced stuff. We are effectively running a hedge fund level of sophistication with our most advanced students, specifically the investing masters. If you come over to the right-hand side of the screen, the investing masters are pretty much the ones that are running the hedge fund level tactics in this campus. And we have the professors, we have the administrators, we have the captains, we have the member of honors, our veterans, and the masters. So that's a place where everybody online is kept. Now, never forget that you can search for things by me. If you want to, you can go in here and you can do an @ and go Prof. Adam. And you can search for Professor Adam. I've already tagged myself here, as you can see. And then if you want to look into a channel, you use the hash. And then you can go daily and use the daily investing analysis channel. And then you can look for something like market. That way you can look for specific posts from me. And then you have the inbox, which is where all of your different mentions are. This is for roles like students, or if it's I'm specifically talking to you or somebody's specifically talking to you, that'll show up in here. You can go direct or you can go all mentions. Never forget that you can mark all as read if it gets too overwhelming, because I know there's way too many notifications out there sometimes. Just press mark all as read and you'll be good to go. Now, we are pretty much at the end of the navigational tutorial, so I'll just summarize by giving you the most important points. Never forget that the Start Here channel contains the campus map, which tells you where you should be going if you're an absolute beginner. In the courses section, once you finish the navigational part, go into the game if you're an absolute beginner and want a risk-free introduction into the world of cryptocurrency investing, or if you have a little more experience or you're more enterprising and want to get into it straight away, go into the Cryptocurrency Investing Masterclass, where we go from very, very beginner all the way to very, very advanced. It is a very comprehensive set of lessons in there. You have the crypto investing signals, which are unlocked after the investing lessons. You also have the Armory, which is a collection of resources that you should go through when you have some spare time. And of course, the Help Me section, just in case you get lost. Now, thank you very much for listening, and I will see you guys in the lessons very soon. Looking forward to seeing it. Let's go. Friends, let me congratulate you. You're standing on the precipice of a revolution, one that can change your life forever. So let's dive in. The world of cryptocurrency investing is not for the faint of heart. Fortunes can be made or lost within the blink of an eye. But what if I told you there was a game out there that could forge you into an investment titan? Would you be willing to play? Imagine you're the leader of a special forces team, a unique battalion, but it's not made of hundreds, it's made of just 5. 5 of the best soldiers, 5 Terminators, designed by some of the sharpest minds. Imagine the geniuses that created them. They've gone over every war, every historical skirmish known to man, every strategic move. They've aggregated all of that data and created these super soldiers for us. So why 5? The team's speed and precision lies in its simplicity. Each one of them shares strikingly similar DNA. They're like 5 fingers in a fist. Alone, they're still formidable, but together, they're unbeatable. But here's the catch. Like all beings, they do have their weaknesses, but their brothers step in. When one misses, the others hit their mark. They don't need food, sleep, or breaks. Their focus unwavering. Translated into the realm of cryptocurrency investing, each soldier is a strategy indicator, their focus unwavering, and their mission to invest over a specified time horizon, bringing in returns most can only dream of. These soldiers are your lifeline in a chaotic ocean of cryptocurrency. But my dear students, here is the golden nugget. The best hedge funds in the world have already been playing this game for years. Haven't you ever wondered why only a select few rise to the top echelons in the financial world? Why only the top few make all the money? It's because they have mastered the art of creating the ultimate team. Now let's sprinkle a touch of reality on this metaphor. If you think the cryptocurrency market is like a game where you can get wiped out and then respawn, think again. In the real world, there's no load last checkpoint, but this investing game, it's as close as you'll get. This is the training ground, the simulation where you get to learn the skills and learn the ropes. If you create the best team in the world, you're not just collecting frags like you are in Call of Duty. You're setting yourself up to be an actual billionaire because you're learning real financial skills. That's the power of playing the game like a pro. So are you ready to take on the challenge? Are you ready to invest your time, your energy, your intellect into this game to become the best, to dive headfirst into the world of crypto? I ask because, my dear students, the real question isn't whether you're curious about cryptocurrency. The question is, do you want to be a legendary leader, a wealthy innovator, and a rich and successful strategy developer? Welcome to the future of investing education. Your mission begins now. Welcome, future investment commanders. Now, as you stand on the brink of embarking on this transformative journey, before we even begin, let's address some apprehensions that you might have as a beginner. You might be thinking, I don't know anything about cryptocurrency. Will this be a problem for me? No, my friend, it doesn't matter if you're an experienced cryptocurrency investor or a complete novice. This game starts from ground zero, so everybody has a chance to become an elite investing commander. You might be asking about politics or economics and wondering if you need to know anything about these before getting started in the game. The simple answer is no. The game isn't about your prior experience, it's about your strategic decision making, it's about your adaptability and how hard you can work. Now you might be asking, hey, I've heard about cryptocurrencies, I've heard they're very risky, I've heard there's a lot of scams circulating around. Is this game going to be risky at all? No, my friends, we're going to be setting you up with a demo account, and trust me, that means risk-free. There is zero chance of you losing real money if you follow my instructions and you do everything that you're meant to do. You're not going to be asked to deposit any money anywhere. This will be a great way of building up your confidence and actually seeing what cryptocurrency investing systems look like and interacting with the cryptocurrency world before putting a single cent in. So you'll be able to know what you're doing before you put real money down. You might be asking, hey, Professor Adam, I'm not an expert on investing strategies. Will I be out of my depth here? Because it sounds very complicated. The answer is no. We're going to be providing you with a list of different things to choose from, and we're just going to make you focus on what's in front of you, and we're going to be explaining everything every step of the way. So you don't have to worry about being overwhelmed. Yes, it's not going to be easy as cake, but we'll be instructing you every step of the way. Now, I can already predict what you're thinking about right now. You're like, this sounds all very overwhelming. You might even be wondering about who you are in relation to the activity that we're about to take on. Am I too inexperienced? Am I too young? Am I too old? Can I really do this? The answer is, of course, yes. All of the best investors on the planet didn't start out with masses of information. Everybody has to learn from the ground up and build up from something. If you just relied on your previous knowledge in life, then you would never learn anything new and you would never achieve anything great. We're going to be holding your hand every step of the way to get you there. Remember, success is passion, drive, and a thirst for learning. Don't let self-doubt deter you. Embrace this journey and discover what you're capable of. So now that we've put all of your doubts to one side and you're confident and ready to go, we're going to turn you from an average Joe into an investment commander. The battlefield awaits. Alright, future billionaires, grab your notepads. We're going to dive into the core mechanics of this game that's going to turn you into an investing G, so buckle up. Firstly, let's address the elephant in the room. What's the objective? What's the end game here? It's simple yet alluring. We're going to showcase for you the art of making huge gains. We're talking about making responsible investments into mountains of gold, where the numbers in your brokerage account are as long as the Great Wall of China. You don't think it's possible? In theory, it's absolutely possible. Watch this. Over the last couple of years, if you had linked these investments together, you would have grown $1,000 to almost $200,000. And that's just on Bitcoin and with no additional deposits. While it's improbable anyone on Earth could pick all of these points perfectly, it's still important to look at the numbers to see the power crypto has. Now, how do we actually achieve this in the game? Well, of course, the secret sauce is your team, your battalion of 5 soldiers. The mission is to detect turning points in the trend. Every time the market tries to evade, they intercept. It's like a dance, and they know every step. And you can make money going in the up and down directions. My systems is like having the golden touch. Now you might be thinking, why can't I just use one soldier? Well, yes, they're geniuses, but even geniuses make mistakes. So if one of them accidentally misreads a signal, the others are there to pull them back on course like a ship. Now, when they have each other's backs like this, it's fantastic, and it means your investments are basically as safe as Fort Knox. Remember, lads, in the volatile world of cryptocurrency, the market is a battlefield, and it's teeming with landmines, traps, and ambushes. And a single soldier, no matter how skilled, can't win the war alone. It's the team that will get the collective might, camaraderie, and collective intelligence required to lead you to victory. And for all you young guns out there, I know the allure of quick gains and overnight success is tempting, but remember, this game is a marathon and not a sprint. It's about strategy. It's about patience and playing the long game. It's about understanding the market, reading the signs, and making informed decisions. It's about learning, growing, and evolving so that you can be the best commander that you can be. So, are you ready to build your team, learn the strategies, play the game, and write your own success story? In the next lesson, we place you on the battlefield. Your soldiers are waiting. So if you're ready for it, let's continue on and let's make those huge gains. Roll out! Welcome back, Investment Titans. What we're about to do now is dive headfirst into the battlefield where you will be deploying all of your strategic moves and the place where your fortunes will be won. So without further ado, welcome to TradingView. Now, what I want you to do first of all is to go and click Get Started and to make yourself an account. It's free. You can open up one immediately. And so what I want you to do is I want you to sign up for a TradingView account so that you can get started. Otherwise, the rest of this video won't make any sense. So go ahead, pause the video, and I'll be here waiting for you once you've completed that. Okay, so once you've gone and signed up, you're going to be landing on the TradingView main page. Now, I know everything's going to look very confusing. It's either going to look something like this, where you've got a market summary, or maybe there's some extra things on the screen. Maybe the website is taking you to the plans page. Wherever you've landed, what I want you to do is just relax. You don't need to go and explore anything here. The only thing I want you to do is go to products and then click on Supercharts. You'll notice that products and Supercharts is the same on both of these screens, and it should be the same on yours as well. So click on Supercharts and open up one of the charts, and it'll land you into our main trading chart screen. Okay, so I know that this is going to look very intimidating. There's a lot of numbers and letters everywhere, and there's a lot of symbols, but we're just going to get you started off with something basic. Remember, it's just like a video game. This is easy. After a bit of exposure, after playing around with it, it'll be fine. You can't break anything on here, so don't be too afraid. We'll start you off with something very simple. You see the symbol search up the top left-hand corner. Press on that and type in index semicolon BTC USD, and this will be the Bitcoin all-time history index. This is the one you're after. So click on Bitcoin price, and before you know it, look at that. Boom, we have the Bitcoin price on screen. Now, I know it can be exciting getting on TradingView, and there's so many things to do in so little time. It's like an amusement park where you're so overstimulated. But remember, discipline is key. There's plenty of time to look at all the advanced stuff later, but it's very important to get the basics down first, so concentrate on that. TradingView is not just a tool either, it's also a map guiding you through the treacherous terrain of the crypto world. You need to understand it, master it, and use it to your advantage. Once you've mastered the game, only then can you let your curiosity roam free. You can explore all the different nuances, all the bits and pieces on the platform, all the things that you want to explore. But until then, stick to this process. And hey, if you're on the other side of the table, don't worry about getting lost or feeling overwhelmed. I'm here, and we're in this together. Step by step, we'll uncover the secrets, decode the signals, and create strategies that'll make you unstoppable. So, stay locked in, stay focused, and embrace the challenge, and let's conquer this. Keep your eyes on the prize, and let's make those billion-dollar dreams a reality. So, I'll see you in the next video where we prepare for war. Let's win this. Alright, future moguls, now we're diving deeper into the game, but before you can meet your sharp shooting soldiers, we need to define our battlefield. After all, how can soldiers win a war if they don't even know what they're fighting for yet? Now before we start, lock in and focus. I get it, moving between the charts and this lesson constantly is going to be a bit tricky, but remember, champions don't get distracted, they hunker down and they stay the course. And remember, every successful mission starts with good preparation, so make sure you do it right, don't get distracted, and don't cut any corners. First things first, we need to set up our chart time horizons. So you'll look at the chart like this, and you'll want to move up to the top left-hand corner of the screen and select from the drop-down menu, 1 day. Now, yours will look a little bit different to mine. Reason why is because I have the minutes and the hours section closed off. You're a commander. Remember, you don't want to get bogged down by the minute-to-minute noise of the market. So close these sections off because you want to look at it from a much higher perspective so that all of your strategic decisions can be as accurate as possible. Select 1 day, and that means that each of the bars on this chart represent a single day's worth of price information. But the question is, you're going to be looking at this video in the future, so this chart is not going to look like this anymore. It might be back here or back there or something like this. So how do we know how to set up the chart so that we're all looking at the same chart, all the students, all the same commanders? I'm going to show you how. It's by ignoring all of these buttons down here and selecting the go to button that looks like a little calendar. You click on that one and you go custom range. When the first field is highlighted, you go 2022, November 1st to 2023, December 1st. As you can see, it's now nicely set up. We have the 1 day chart and everybody's going to be looking at the exact same set of prices so that we can all work together on this. And that was step number 1. Step number 2, what you need to do is you need to go over here into the brush menu on the side and the tiny little arrow next to it. I want you to click on that and select arrow. Think of this as you looking at the map and you need to mark out territories and map out where you want your soldiers to move. Now, step number 3, use that arrow to pin down the moves that you want your soldiers to lock onto. You want to be capturing the big up and down sweeping moves like so. This is like the territories that your soldiers need to conquer. You need to map out their objectives for them so they know exactly what to lock onto. So if you're doing something like this, then you're doing it right. Now, step number 4 is to take a step back for a moment and review what you've done so far. Ask yourself these questions. Are they as uniform in length as I can possibly make them? Do they make sense? Does it seem like reasonable moves that I want to capture? If all of this looks approximately correct to you, then that's good. If these are placed in some other random position like that, if you're going flat like that, or if you're trying to go against the grain of the price, or you're trying to go in a line directly upwards like this, sometimes that won't work. So you need to be reasonable in your expectations. However, generally, it's good to have ambitious goals. So we'll put these arrows back to where they were. And as you can see, I'm clicking on the balls of the ends of these arrows to move them around into different positions. And once you're happy with these, we can move on to the next step. Okay, so the final step, step number 5 in mapping out our battle plans is to set the turning points. So what I want you to do is go over into this menu on the left-hand side and click the tiny little arrow next to the trend lines. What I want you to do is select vertical lines, and I want you to place those vertical lines at the positions where these strategies or where your moves are going to be changing directions. So you can see it's where one arrow finishes and another arrow begins. And this is kind of what I want you to do, like so. You'll be placing your turning points here and there, like so, turning points there, and of course over here, eventually when that goes down like so, or something like this. The vertical lines are important because they tell you where the turning points are, so you want to establish those. Step number 6 is completely optional. However, if you're feeling confident at this point, this is a great opportunity to do this. So what I want you to do is select each of these vertical lines, and if they're very high in the price, I want you to change the color to red, and if they're very low in the price, a place where you would want to buy, I want you to change those colors to green. So we go red, green, like this, and we alternate backwards and forwards between times where we would want to look at the price being very high and selling versus times where the price is very low and we want to be buying. This will be helpful later on. Now, a word of caution and motivation. The digital world offers 1,000 distractions per minute, but this is your future. This is your empire we're talking about. So don't let a distraction derail you from your journey to multimillionaire status. Stay focused, stay on point, and see this through. And for those that remain steadfast, in the next episode, we're going to be introducing you to your sharp shooting soldiers. Gear up, commanders, for the game's about to get real intense. I'll see you in the next one. Welcome back, students. Remember the Special Forces team that I've been harping on about? Well, you're about to meet your soldiers, your Terminator super soldiers, and by the end of this video, you'll know how to deploy them with deadly precision. Before we dive deep, a little bit of advice from me. While we're going through these indicators, resist the urge to go off there and start playing with all the different settings on your charts. Focus on what you're doing. It'll still all be there when we finish this lesson up. By focusing here right now, you're arming yourself with knowledge, and we all know that knowledge is power. So by keeping your curiosity at bay for just a few more minutes, I can give you the best possible starting steps. Ready? Let's go. Okay, so when we're in the charts, we'll set everything up to introduce ourselves to the soldiers. So if you want to clean things up a little bit, I suggest go over here to the vol, which is volume, and just remove that because we're not going to need that. Next thing, go to your indicators and open up the indicators section. You'll see that we have my scripts, technicals, financials, and community scripts. What I want you to do is just focus on this for the moment, which is technicals and indicators. Here, the first super soldier I want to introduce you to is the Arun. Press that little star to add to favorites, and then click on the name to add it to your chart. Now you can see we have a whole bunch of lines here. Think of Arun like your scout. This one here tells you when a trend might begin and when it might stop. You can see that when the orange line is above the blue line, that's an indication that the trend is going up. When the blue line is above the orange line, it's an indication the trend might go down. Arun up, Arun down. If you keep track of these, it will give you an indication of the trend. Now, I know what you're thinking right now. This indicator, it looks very chaotic and it's super confusing and you might even be a little bit overwhelmed right now. That's okay. What we'll do is later on, we'll cover how to clean this up and make this indicator a little more readable. But for the moment, I'm just introducing you to the best possible strategies that we can deploy. So before I introduce you to the next one, go to Arun, click on the name, and then go remove to relieve him of duty and to bring your next guy onto the scene. The next super soldier I'm going to introduce you to is the directional movement index. So again, we go back into the indicator section and we type in directional movement index should come to the top of the list. Remember again, favorite that bad boy and then click on the name to put him on the chart. Now, this one's interesting. We can open this up and have a closer look at it. This indicator consists of DI up, DI down, and a strength measurement. So what we'll do is just clean this up by removing the ADX, and I will show you what this looks like. So when the blue line is above the orange line, that means that we're in a positive trend because the positive trend is stronger than the negative trend. And then of course, as we look over here, you will have moments where the orange line is above the blue line. This is indicating a negative trend because the negative trend strength is stronger than the positive trend strength. Now that you know the difference between those two, we can introduce the ADX line, which increases the complexity just a little bit, and it represents the overall strength of the trend. Now, this is more of an interpretive measurement. You don't need to worry too much about it. If you want, you can just remove that entirely from your indicator like so, and just focus on these two lines crossing over. So that is the directional movement index, otherwise known as the DMI. If you've been paying attention, you would have noticed something a little bit annoying, and that's when the Arun was saying things were going to go up, it was yellow. And then when the DMI said things were going to go up, it was blue. So you might be asking, which one is correct? The truth is, neither of them is correct. You will be faced with a universe, a whole kaleidoscope of different indicators out there in the real world, and when they're going up, sometimes they'll be yellow, sometimes they'll be blue, sometimes they'll be purple, green, red, orange. It doesn't matter. As long as you're paying attention to the indicator and you're looking very carefully at what it's telling you, you shouldn't get wrapped up too much in what you believe it should be. Always be paying attention to what the indicator is telling you. Every indicator is going to be a little bit different. So they're going to mix around the colors a little bit, just as long as you're paying attention to whether it's saying it's going up or down. That's the main thing. So let's get back into it. Now, where your DMI is like your field strategist, what we're going to look at next is the moving average convergence divergence, also known as the MACD. You can see this, it comes to the top of the list here. Favorite that one and put him onto the field like so. Now, the MACD is like the communicator. He tells you the direction of the trend, the strength of the trend, the rate of change between certain things. The MACD is a classic indicator, and anybody that's been in the investing game for a while will know its name. It's very simple to read. You have, again, a blue line and an orange line. In this one here, if the blue line is above the orange line, that is a bullish trend. And if the orange line is above the blue line and it's declining, that is a bearish trend. You can also see the column bars in the background. This is a histogram showing you the rate of change of these two lines moving against each other, which can give you some insights into their future movements. But of course, you don't need to make it as complicated as this. Just look at the crossover points between these two lines, the orange and the blue, to see what direction the trend is going in. Now to introduce you to the next one, parabolic SAR, also known as the stop and reverse. Add to favorites, and let's put that on the chart right now. Now you can see this one is slightly different to the other ones we've looked at. You can see that now we have lots of little dots that have appeared on the screen. They're very hard to see right now, so what we might do is we might make those a little bit easier to read by making them thicker like so, changing a couple of these settings around like this. This will make it a lot easier to see. And of course, I might hide some of these drawings so it's even easier for us. Now, the parabolic SAR is like your sniper. It reacts very quickly and it can give you an indication of when the direction might be changing. You can see here, it's very chaotic. It's all over the place. Every time that you have an indication of where it might change directions, it will come down like so. And when it touches the price, it will quickly flip from one side to another. Now, of course, we can slow this down to make it a little more relaxed. We can go to inputs and change some of these values around. However, I won't be showing you how to do that right now. I just want to introduce you to this guy so that you know approximately what he looks like and how he behaves. Okay, so the next super soldier I'm going to introduce you to is the Medic, and he is going to be the RSI, also known as the Relative Strength Index. Favorite that bad boy and throw him onto the chart. Now, the one that you will be introduced to straight away will have two lines. It will have a RSI line and a moving average. To simplify things, we can just go to style and remove the RSI based moving average to start off with. We can use the moving average later on. However, for the moment, we're just going to start with the RSI line. So this is a very, very classic indicator as well. Anybody that's been in the space for a long time will know what the RSI is and how it works. Basically, it just shows you the strength of the price relative to previous prices. A lot of people use this as a cheap and expensive style of indicator, but we know better. We're going to use it as a trend indicator. So when this line is above 50, the middle line here, that dotted line in the very middle, when it's above this, it is in a bullish trend. And when it is below the halfway line at the 50 mark, that is in a bearish trend. So as it goes above and below the midline, so every single time it crosses over that midline, it transitions from bearish to bullish, and from bullish to bearish, and so on and so forth across the chart as you go. This is how the RSI works when trend following. Now, I know at the start I said I was just going to give you 5 soldiers, but in this lesson, I'm going to give you an extra 2 indicators as a bonus so you have the best chance of success. So let's check them out. Next up is the super trend, who is going to be your frontline defender. Type in super and he should come to the top of the list like so. Make sure you favorite that one and add it to your chart to have a look. Now, this guy here will always give you a solid position at the expense of sometimes giving you false signals, but that's okay. It's still quite a robust indicator to base your strategies off. You can see here that when the line is red, it indicates a downtrend, and when the line goes to green, it indicates an uptrend. You can see here that the signal period between bullish and bearish and backwards and forwards is quite good. Super trend is also one of my personal favorites. Finally, our last soldier is the intelligence officer. What I want you to do is type in SMI and you will see the ergodic indicator. I want you to put that on your chart, make sure you favorite. And now you can see we have, again, a nice indication of where we have positive and negative trends. When the blue line is above the orange line, that is a bullish trend, which means things are trending upwards. And of course, when the orange line is above the blue line, that means we're in a bearish trend and things are likely to trend downwards. So you can see it going between bullish and bearish phases. And this is how you would read this indicator. Now listen out there. For all you lads and ladies who are wondering what is the deal with all of these numbers and lines, remember, these aren't just any old indicators. These are the guys that are going to have your back in this war zone of finance. And to command them effectively, you need to understand them, work with them, respect them. Don't just slap them on a chart and expect miracles to happen. You need to understand their nuances, their strengths, and their weaknesses. Lastly, keep your wits about you. The market is unpredictable and wild. But with these Terminators by your side, you won't just be playing the game, you'll be dominating it. So before you jump into anything else and dive into the vast ocean of cryptocurrency investing, ensure your ship is built sturdy with the knowledge that we're sharing here. Alright, lock and load students. In the next lesson, you're going to see these Terminators in action. Stay tuned in and stay focused. Okay, students, I understand that a lot of these indicators are going to look very chaotic and they're going to look crazy on the charts. What this lesson is going to be, this is going to be a quick appendix. So it's a bonus lesson attached to the previous one. And what we're going to do is we're going to have a quick look at how to adjust these indicators to make them fit the periods that you have here on the chart more accurately. So this is my approach and this is how I would do it. First of all, I would go onto the charts and I would look at the turning points. We don't really need these arrows anymore. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove them from the chart. Now, let's have an example of something that's a little bit confusing to look at. The parabolic SAR is probably a good example. You can see how it's all over the chart and it's a little bit difficult to see. So personally, I would go into the settings and go to the style. And as you saw previously, what I would do is I would actually make those indications a little bit thicker so that they're easier to see. So I will click OK. And you can see that it's far easier to read now. However, you can see that it's not operating over the intended periods that we wanted it to. There's a lot of noise in between the periods we want to go bearish and between the times we want to go bullish. By the way, in case you don't know, bullish and bearish are just different ways of describing up and down. Bullish is up, bearish is down. So for the stop and reverse, the parabolic SAR, what we can do is we can change around all these different values. Now, we can play with all of them all we like. However, the one you probably want to be concerned with is this one called increment. Now, if you've placed your lines in the same approximate positions to where I have in here, just as an example, what you might want to do is you might want to decrease your increment. We'll go to 0.01 and you can see how that actually lengthens out the signal period a little bit. Now there's less noise. So what if we could take this to an even more extreme level? Maybe 0.005. You can see it goes even longer. Now let's go even more extreme. 0.01. Now you can see that it's starting to operate along the same types of lines that we wanted to, according to our lines here. Now you could maybe go back up a tiny little bit and you can see how you can play around with these numbers a little bit to make them fit a little more precisely compared to the moves that you're trying to get. So this is an example of how to do it with the parabolic SAR. Now, if you like this setup, if you like how this is, you can go save. You can go save as default, or maybe you can take a screenshot of this or maybe write down some notes of the calibrations that you did so that you can refer back to it later on. Be active in your learning experience because that will actually help you understand how these work a little bit better. But of course, this is just one example. Let's go to a different example. Let's go to the Arun. We can pull that one up. And again, this one looks quite crazy. So how can we change this? We can go to the settings and we can actually modify the length parameter here. So what if we were to change that to say 30? That's like double the length of what it was previously. It was previously 14 and now it's 30. And you can see here that we've lengthened that period of time a bit. And now it's fitting more closely to the signal period that we had. This number 30 was just a number that I came out at the top of my head. So if you want to try and fit it to the intended signal periods that you have here with these lines indicating bullish and bearish locations, you might want to change that a little bit higher. Maybe you want to make it 40. Maybe you want to make it 20, depending on what your signal periods are. So this is an example of making the indicators calibrated more accurately to the moves you're trying to capture. Now, a word of warning, I recommend that you don't spend all day fiddling with the calibrations bit by bit. Yes, it can be good to make sure that they're calibrated well. However, you can go down a black hole where you spend a bit too much time calibrating these indicators, and it's not really going to give you extra benefit. So that is a quick example of how to make these indicators a little less intimidating so that you can apply them to your charts and to your signal periods sooner and with more accuracy. Welcome back, future billionaires. Now we're going to be delving into our own little war room so that we can map out a strategy that'll be your beacon in the ever-turbulent world of cryptocurrency. Are you ready to upgrade from mere foot soldier to strategic general? Well, now's the time to do it. Let's get into it. First of all, let's clear the air. Spreadsheets might sound boring, like something your uncle in accounting would be excited about. But let's make one thing absolutely clear. Spreadsheets are for the elites only. This is where multi-million-dollar strategies are born. Hedge funds, spreadsheets. Entrepreneurs, spreadsheets. Real estate developers, spreadsheets. Sports team owners, art collectors, venture capitalists, spreadsheets, spreadsheets, spreadsheets. Every elite, ultra-wealthy person on this planet uses spreadsheets to track their financial decisions. So unless you're happy being broke forever, we're going to have to dive into it and learn it for ourselves. There's this misconception out there that everybody thinks that you can imagine some form of reality into existence and you can just interpretively analyze everything and you don't need anything to track your decisions. Those people are broke, those people are poor, and they are going to stay that way. So we need to forge ahead and go onto our map of the battlefield in our war room and design our strategies like a pro. Imagine a vast war room table where great leaders have decided the course of history. This is your spreadsheet. This is where you're going to map out your strategy, track your soldiers, and decide your next moves. But thanks to modern technology, you don't need an enormous room, you just need Google Sheets. That's right, Google Sheets. Why? It's free and easy to use. So let's get into it. Step 1, access Google Sheets. Everybody pretty much has a Google account, so you should just need to go into Google, type in Google Sheets, and click the first link. Once you've all logged in, you need to go into Google Sheets and open up a brand new spreadsheet. Once you've done that, come back to this video. Got your spreadsheet open, ready to go? Let's get into it. What you'll be faced with is a screen that looks like this. It will have Untitled Spreadsheet, and I want you to type in here, my strategy. Now what we're going to do is we're going to list our soldiers in these columns here. Now remember, they each deserve their own little space. Give them the respect they deserve. So what we're going to do is we're going to type in indicator. And then what we're going to do is we're going to look at the indicator list and put them down in each cell. So we'll start off with Arun, directional movement index, so on and so forth. And I want you to type those into the cells. Do that right now, and we'll come back to the video. Okay, so now I have filled these up with all of the indicator names. As you can see, some of them are shortened for their acronyms, and then I'm just going to put in super trend here in the bottom. Okay, now what I might do to make this a little bit easier to see is I'll just put a border underneath it. That is completely optional. You don't need to do that. However, I think it will make it a lot easier to read. And in this column here, I'm going to write score. Now, score is where things get interesting. If you remember, back to these charts here, if we had something like a moving average, convergence, divergence, or a MACD indicator, what we would be looking at is over here at the current price and what it looks like. Now, remember what I told you, if it was the blue line above the orange line, then it would be bullish. If the orange line was above the blue line going downwards, then it's bearish. So bullish, bearish, up or down, what we see here is that the blue line is above the orange line. So currently, this one is bullish. And how are we going to score that in our strategy spreadsheet? Well, we're going to go here, click on this cell, and give it a +1. +1 means it's on its way up. -1 means it's on its way down. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at all of these indicators and score them appropriately. Here we have the Arun. Now, as you remember, the orange line above the blue line means that it's bullish. So what we're going to do is we're going to put that in here as a +1 as well. and we're going to move to the next ones. So we'll move through these quickly now. We'll go to the DMI, Directional Movement Index, and we can remove the ADX because that's not really necessary. So what do we have here? Blue above orange means bullish, so we are going to score that +1 as well. We already did MACD, and let's look at the parabolic SAR. So, as you may have remembered, what we did in one of the previous videos was actually change the length of this to 0.1. Now, that is a nice length, in my opinion, at least for the purposes of this video. Yours might be slightly different depending on where you have your desired turning points. So, as you can see, the dots are below the current price, which means that it is in a bullish trend. So that one, parabolic SAR, is a +1 as well. Let's have a look at the RSI. We'll remove that one. And the relative strength index. Now, remember, as I said previously, you can either remove the RSI base moving average or keep it on the screen, depending on how sophisticated or fancy you want to get. We can see here that the RSI line is above the 50 mark, which in my opinion means that it is bullish. So that is going to be a +1. The SMEI, we have that one here as well. You can pull that up on your screen like so. Now, this is going to be a common problem that some of you might find if you accidentally try to add too many indicators onto the one chart, especially if you haven't paid for your TradingView subscription yet. Watch what happens when I try to add 3 indicators to the chart. I get a pop-up that asks me to upgrade my TradingView subscription. Now remember, you don't need to do this. It's only asking you to do this because you tried to put more than 2 indicators on your chart at the same time. So just close that, and if you need to add extra indicators onto your chart, close it like so, and add them back like so. Make sure you keep track of them or else that might freak you out. Now we're not looking at super trend right now, so I'm going to hide that, and we're looking at the SMI. Now, as I said previously, blue over orange means bullish. So what we're going to do is place that in here as a +1, and let's hide that for the moment and have a look at super trend. And as you can see, super trend is currently green, meaning that it's going up as well. So we have a straight flush. Everything is scored 1 on the spreadsheet. Fantastic. Now, under some circumstances, you might actually find that these are saying -1 for bearish, or a couple of them are like this. So you might be asking yourself, well, what's the consensus, or what is the strength of this type of signal here? Now, this is where things get interesting. What you need to do is you need to click on this cell down here. I'll add a little bit of a border to the top of it just to make sure that it's separated nicely. Now we're going to type in equals. This is where we use formulas, and the word average, followed by a bracket. And you can see here it's automatically suggesting that we do B2 to B8. Not a problem. You can either press enter, click there, or simply click and drag the cells that you want to include, then press enter. And as you can see, the current number, I'm going to reduce some of these decimal places here, is 0.43. This is positive. This is a positive number, which means there's more positive numbers than negative numbers. That means the consensus of your super soldier team is bullish. That means on average, they believe the price is going to continue going up. Now I'll describe this again in a slightly different way because the concept is so important. So we'll cover it a second time. Now imagine you're on the battlefield and you have all of your super soldiers and more of them are advancing than the guys are retreating. This means on average, your team has a more aggressive, bullish stance to their bias. Conversely, if more of your soldiers are retreating than actually going forwards, this means that they've sensed danger, which means they have more of a bearish stance, which believes the market is going to pull back. So if your average score is above 0, that means on average they're bullish, which means it's time to push forwards, guns blazing. However, if the score is below 0, if the average score is below 0, that means they're bearish, which means it's time for a tactical retreat to regroup, get prepared for the next big push. I know this might seem overwhelming, but you're learning the methods of elite strategists. So trust the process. With every battle, with every maneuver on your spreadsheet, you're inching closer to that multi-millionaire dream. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, or in our case, a single cell in a spreadsheet. So gear up, get your war plans ready, and let's march on to the next lessons. All right, listen up, warriors. You've survived the boot camp of setting up your systems, but now it's time for some real action. So let's get onto the simulated battlefield where you can get a slice of the action without a risk of losing a finger or a Bitcoin. So focus ahead and follow along with each step. Now, we've already covered TradingView. It's the command center where you're going to see the entire battlefield. So get that up on your screen now. Now, first things first, what I want you to do is move your cursor down here to the bottom where it says Trading Panel, and I click on that. Now it's going to open up and you're going to see a whole bunch of different buttons. I want you to ignore all of them. Paper trading is the one that you want to go to. This is your safe space where you don't have to worry about anything. This is your sandbox when you can play forever and it's not a problem. I want you to stay focused and ignore all the other shiny buttons. None of them are relevant to you right now. So click on paper trading and then click connect. Now, first things first, we're going to look at what's on the screen and we're going to set it up so it's just right for you. Now, we see a couple of pop-ups here. We don't really need to worry about either of those. So we're just going to click OK and get rid of them. Now, first things first. We look at the account balance. Now, clearly it's out of whack. It's $100,000. You probably won't have that amount. So what we need to do is we actually need to go into the little wheel here, which is the setting wheel, and go reset account. Now it's going to ask you what balance in US dollars that you want to have. Now this step is very, very important. What I want you to do is I want you to replace this number with the actual number of dollars that you will be intending on investing into the market. Not higher, not lower, the same amount. So if you have $1,000, you put $1,000 into there. If you have $5,000, then you put in $5,000. I don't want anybody to be shooting under or over. That's not going to be a real reflection of what you're doing as an individual. So once you've done that, click reset and it will be ready to go. Now, once you have your account balance, the real balance of your actual intended investments so that you're not inflating your ego like some fake Instagram page, what I want you to do is go over here to paper trading and select trading settings and change your positions, profit and loss, and brackets profit and loss from money to percent. This is important because what it does is it removes your emotions to a higher degree. When you see the dollars moving up and down on your positions, you will feel all types of fear and greed. These emotions are bad. You don't want to feel any emotions when you're doing trading or investing because they will contaminate your decision making. They'll make you make bad decisions, and we don't want to be emotional. Remember, this is war. We need cold, hard, calculated strategy in order to have a competitive edge. So once you have your percentages like that, you can then go okay, and you will almost be ready to begin your experiments. Now that we're ready to invest, you might want to go up here and click the buy button, or you might want to click the sell button. Now, if you click buy, you will notice that it will ask you about units. It's not asking you how much money do you want to put into the asset. It's asking you how many of the asset do you want to buy. Now, the question is, do we buy one? Do we buy half of one? Do we buy 100? It's very difficult to know just by looking at this panel here. So what I've actually done for you is I have included in this lesson a game unit buying cheat sheet. Yes, no need to thank me. This will be included in the lesson so that you can use it as well. This is a sheet that I have prepared earlier, and I'll be putting the link in the lesson, and I'll show you exactly how to use it so you will know how many units to buy. So the investing game cheat sheet for how many units of each cryptocurrency you should buy. Now, the blue cell up here represents a cell that you need to put information into yourself. What is the account size? Now here it says $10,000, but that's not what we had in the TradingView chart, is it? We had 5,000. So we're going to put 5,000 into that cell. Now the current Bitcoin price and the current Ethereum price, this is a bit of a curveball. Some of you might be a little bit ahead of the curve and you might be feeling confident. So what we're going to do is we are actually going to buy some Bitcoin, and we're also going to buy some Ethereum, because those are the two major cryptocurrencies you'll need to be aware of. So this is going to be fun, and it's going to be a little bit challenging for some of those new guys out there, but that's okay. Stick with me and I'll tell you how it all works. So current Bitcoin price. This cell automatically updates using information from Google. This one too. So you can see in the formula section, it says Google Finance Ethereum, and this one here, Google Finance Bitcoin. So that means you don't need to touch these. They're just going to take care of all of the math for you. Next, we have allocation to Bitcoin and allocation to Ethereum. What percentage of our portfolio are we putting into each asset? Now, we're just going to go for a simple half and half split, so 50% each. Now, how many units of each should you buy? Actually, I should have made these light blue like so, representing something that you can put your own preferences into, so you can change these if you want, but 50-50 is a good start. Now, this is where the magic happens. How many units of each should you buy? Bitcoins or Ether? Now here we have the formula and it calculates this is how much Bitcoin you need to buy. And here, this is how much Ether you need to buy. If you're new, you might call multiple Ethereum tokens Ethereums. However, the correct term is simply Ether. So we can see here for a $5,000 portfolio at the current prices, if we want to spread it evenly over both Bitcoin and Ethereum, you would buy 0.0887 Bitcoins and 1.5 Ethereums, or Ethers to be precise. So let's do that now. 0.0887. 0.0887. Buy. And of course, if we want to look at Ethereum, we would click on here and go index ETH USD. Ethereum all-time history index. Beautiful, easy as that. And we can click buy market and let's go back to our spreadsheet. 1.5745. 1.5745. Buy Ethereum. Beautiful. So congratulations on getting through all the steps so far. Now, word of warning, you young lads out there might be keen to jump the gun because now you feel invincible. But this is incredibly dangerous because investing is not a game of luck or chance. It is a game of skill, knowledge, and calculated risks. Use this environment as a learning experience and not a gambling den. I say this because I see you impatient souls out there. Investing, like love and war, is a long-term game. So don't expect instant wins and don't let short-term setbacks derail you. Watching every tick of profit and loss on your trading platform moving up and down isn't actually going to make you money. It will only serve to distract and exhaust you. So don't become distracted or fixated on these numbers. Follow the criteria. Ignore the profit and loss. This is an early secret to professional elite level investing. All right, warriors, gear up, lock and load, and test yourself on the simulated battlefield. But don't get too distracted. I'll see you in the next lesson where we talk about some more secrets. All right, listen up, commanders. You've made it to the final stage of the investing game. Now it's time to see what you've gone through, what you've learned. You've been through the trenches. So we're going to wrap it all up and we're going to cover it off with a debriefing. Now, if you've been paying attention, what you'll realize is you've been learning the fundamentals of cryptocurrency investing wrapped up in military metaphors. We're talking about opportunity identification, risk management, patience, strategic thinking, planning, and emotional control. These skills aren't just for playtime. They're the bread and butter of professional level investing. Remember, you're not a lone ranger here. You can use the community to your advantage. You can collaborate with other commanders. You can even compete with them if you really want to. Lean into that. Talk tactics, talk strategies. The community can be your best resource for education as well. Now, an important reality check. What you've been doing here is demo trading. It's not real. The wins and losses that you were looking at on the screen, they're all imaginary. Your mindset changes dramatically when there's real money at stake. So if you think that you've somehow cracked the code to the market using just these beginner lessons, you need to take a step back. Don't make the mistake of thinking that you can jump into the real world of investing like you're some sort of Wall Street prodigy. Such things don't exist. Professional investors aren't born, they are built through pain, strategy, suffering, and experience. This leads me to my next point, which is the game is an oversimplified version of reality. It's like a sandbox. Yeah, you heard me right. It's basic training. Whereas the investing masterclass that I've developed in the advanced lessons is like the special ops training of professional investing. This is your end goal. What you've learned here in the game is only at a very basic level an introduction into the world of professional investing. For those that continue on to the investing masterclass, you'll learn advanced strategies that'll make even your toughest game experiences look like child's play in comparison. This is the elite stuff. We're talking trend probability indicators, strategic dollar cost averaging systems, relative strength portfolio strategies, strategic omega portfolio strategies, and if you're lucky, liquidation maps. What about questions? If you're confused, if you're stuck, or you've got some questions about the game, jump into the Game Questions channel. We've got your fellow commanders in there, and we've also got our captains as well. People are on standby, ready to answer your questions. But of course, you've got to be the one to reach out, otherwise we don't know that you're stuck. But we're here to help, so reach out anytime. Now, the last thing before I let you go, close your eyes for a moment and envision your success. Envision yourself achieving those high-stakes investments and getting the success that you've been busting your ass for. This can be your reality, but only if you fully commit, not just dabble. So if you're itching for more, you know what to do. Enroll in the Investing Masterclass. But if you're not quite ready for that yet, you can still learn and you can still look around with the game, but remember, it's just a game. Your real challenge lies in learning the professional investing techniques that I have in the Investing Masterclass. So when you're ready, I look forward to seeing you in there, and I can't wait to see your progress and what amazing things you'll achieve. So let's get into it. Let's learn some more, and I'll see you in the Investing Masterclass.